let me help you there. The way not to fall back is to... Okay. All right. We're good, I guess. I think it's not. Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishta Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadapi Swapavantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shirupam Sagarajatam Sagara Raghunatam Vitakam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakambikam Swam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Nilavanya Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Ramamani Hariye Manchakalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhu Jayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Hare Krishna,
Suchit, more guests keep coming. We have maybe to move upstairs. I mean, it's very nice and cozy here, but very tiny, isn't it?
Well,
Maybe you didn't know that so many will come. Anyway, thank you all of you for coming. It's a pleasure to see you again since last year. I see familiar faces, some I know, some I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Hare Krishna. So, it's very nice that today the weather became better today. Huh? They arrived. Krishna is very kind to me. The day I arrived in Phoenix last week, rained that day. It cooled down a little bit. Oh. So, this chanting of Hare Krishna is so nice. Once you start chanting, you don't know how to stop. I mean, I started like more than half hour ago. I can't stop. It's addictive. But this is a good addiction, you know. A very good addiction. I'm going to read something about the holy name, then we read the Bhagavatam that we planned to do. Let me see. Here it is. This is from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's Guru. Srila Prabhupada's Guru. As spirit souls, we are servants of Krishna. Upon realizing this, we will also realize that we have no other business than to serve Him. Krishna's holy name is Krishna Himself. Serving the holy name is the same as serving Krishna. As soon as we forget service to Krishna or His names, we forget our constitutional position and remain in an incompatible situation. We become conditioned by the Lord's illusory energy and suffer material misery. When, by the spiritual master's mercy, we gain knowledge about our relationship with the Lord, we remember that we are Krishna's eternal servant and that everything in the material world is meant for His service. Those who desire liberation from material existence and who wish to become eternally happy should always chant Krishna's holy name. This is Mahaprabhu's order. Therefore, the devotees consider themselves servants of the holy name. Every living entity is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, and every object is as meant for His service. Krishna's holy name is the reservoir of all transcendental pleasure. The holy name of Krishna is Sachitananda, eternal and full of knowledge and bliss. Krishna's holy name are Shyam Sundar, Yashodanandan, etc. Service to these names, which are the reservoir of all transcendental pleasure, is direct service to Krishna. That is why the devotees constantly serve Krishna by chanting His holy names. Thus they please both the spiritual master and Krishna. This is from Amritabani Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So that's what Thakur Prabhupada. Beautiful, isn't it? So we are all here serving Krishna just by chanting His holy name. We accept ourselves as His eternal servant, and therefore we engage in chanting. And by chanting, all sorrows fly away. So that's the idea. No matter what, never stop chanting. Every day. Every time you can. With beads and without beads. Of course, without bead doesn't count. It's extra. So those who are initiated, they have vowed minimum 16 rounds every day. They should fulfill that quota. Minimum, you can chant more if you have the time, of course. And can read the books. Reading the books is very important. So we are going to read now from this book here. Anybody can hand me this book, please? This is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. All right, so I have a Spotify also, so they record also for all this media. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam 4th Canto, chapter 3. Talks between Lord Shiva and Sati, his wife. So I'm going to make a summary of what happened before the conversation. In an assembly of great sages and demigods, even Lord Brahma was there, Lord Shiva was there, and Daksha, one of the sons of Lord Brahma, he entered the hall, and he was very effulgent, he was very great personality, so everybody stood up to welcome him. Of course, Brahma, his father, didn't have to stand up. Lord Shiva didn't stand up. But Daksha took offense because Lord Shiva was his son-in-law. So he thought in a bodily relationship, he's my son-in-law, he should have stand up, give me respect. But Lord Shiva didn't do it purposely, he was just in trance, he was always in ecstasy meditating on the Lord. So he didn't notice that. But Daksha became disturbed by this. And he openly criticized Lord Shiva in front of everyone. He was criticizing Shiva, saying like these things. I made a mistake by marrying my daughter to this fellow, Shiva. His body is always smeared with ashes from the crematorium, you know. Have his schools around his neck as a garland, and he has all these cobras around his arms and neck, you know. A very strange fellow, you know. I made a mistake, I think. It's not auspicious at all, you know, like that. He dared not to stand up by welcoming me, I'm being his father-in-law. So anyway, Lord Shiva being very tolerant, he didn't protest. He did not protest. He tolerated whatever his father-in-law said. But everybody else was silent, didn't say anything also. But actually, Daksha made an offense against Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva is even higher than Lord Brahma. I mean, if his father is Brahma, he respects his father. Well, you have to respect even more Shiva, he has a higher position. Brahma can change in every creation, but Shiva is always the same personality. No? And Lord Shiva is almost God. Almost. 87%. We living entities, we in our perfect liberated position, we can have up to 78% of the Lord's qualities. In minute quantity, of course. But Lord Shiva is 84%. One of the quality that is we don't have is omniscience. He's omniscient. Anyway, Lord Shiva, he didn't say anything. He tolerated the insult by his father-in-law. Then he went to his home with his wife, Sati. Then, after some time, Daksha decided to do a yagya, a big yagya, invited all devatas, demigods. But he did not invite Shiva, Lord Shiva. Purposely he did not. But then Shiva's wife Sati was the daughter of Daksha. She saw an airplane passing, Biman, going to the yagya, all the demigoddess, devis, nicely dressed, with a beautiful ornament dressed, with their husband going to the yagya. So she wanted also to go naturally, and she told her husband, Shiva, I would like to go with you. But then Shiva explained why you should not go. All right, so we're going to read about this. In text 14, she say, O immortal Shiva, please be kind toward me and fulfill my desire. You have accepted me as half of your body, therefore please show kindness toward me and accept my request. The great sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva, the deliverer of the hill Kailas, having thus been addressed by his dear wife, replied smilingly, although at the same time he remembered the malicious, heart-piercing speeches delivered by Daksha before the guardians of the universal affairs. The great Lord replied, my dear beautiful wife, you have said that one may go to a friend's house without being invited, and this is true, provided such a friend does not find fault with the guest because of bodily identification and thereby become angry toward him. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva could foresee that as soon as Sati reached her father's house, her father Daksha, being too puffed up because of bodily identification, will be angry at her presence. And although she was innocent and faultless, he will be mercilessly angry toward her. Lord Shiva warned that since her father was too puffed up by his material possessions, he will be angry, and this will be intolerable for her. Therefore, it was better that she not go. This fact was already experienced by Lord Shiva, because although Lord Shiva was faultless, Daksha had cursed him in so many harsh words. Now come to verse 17. You can, if you have the Veda base, you can open it. I'm going to read the Sanskrit. Vidyata po vittava purvaya kulai satam gunai shadbir asattamaitarai smritau hatayam pritamana durdrisha stabdana pashyanti hidamavu yasham. Translation. Although the six qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage, are for the highly elevated, one who's proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. Purport. It may be argued that since Daksha was very learned, wealthy, and austere, and had descended from a very exalted heritage, how could he be unnecessarily angry toward another? The answer is that when the qualities of good education, good parentage, beauty, and sufficient wealth are misplaced in a person who's puffed up by all these possessions, they produce a very bad result. Milk is very nice food, but when milk is touched by an envious serpent, it becomes poisonous. Similarly, material assets such as education, wealth, beauty, and good parentage are undoubtedly nice, but when they decorate persons of a malicious nature, then they act adversely. Another example given by Chanakya Pandit is that a serpent that has a jewel on its head is still fearful because it is a serpent. A serpent by nature is envious of other living entities, even though they be faultless. When a serpent bites another creature, it is not necessarily because the other creature is at fault. It is the habit of the serpent to bite innocent creature. Similarly, although Daksha was qualified by many material assets, because he was proud of his possessions and because he was envious, all those qualities were polluted. It is sometimes, therefore, detrimental for a person advancing in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness to possess such material assets. Kunti Devi, while offering prayers to Krishna, addressed him as Akinchana Gochara, one who is easily approached by those who are bereft of all material acquisitions. Material exhaustion is an advantage for advancement in Krishna consciousness, although if one is conscious of his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can utilize one's material asset, such as great learning and beauty and exalted ancestry, for the service of the Lord. Then such asset becomes glorious. In other words, unless one is in Krishna consciousness, all his material possessions are zero. But when this zero is by the side of the Supreme One, it at once increases its value to 10. Unless situated by the side of the Supreme One, zero is always zero. One may add 100 zeros, but the value will still remain zero. Only once material assets are used in Krishna consciousness, they may play havoc and degrade the possessor. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Lord Shiva is instructing his good wife, Sati, that although your father has so many wonderful qualities, he's learned, he's beautiful, he's wealthy, and has so much education, he's coming from a great parentage, like that, but because he's envious of me, unnecessarily, I didn't do anything to him, all his good qualities are gonna go against him. Because, the saying that pride is followed by a fall down. A person of proud may fall from his position because of pride. He may offend saintly sadhus, so he has to fall down because of that. And this is what actually happened to Daksha. So anyway, Sati, after hearing her husband, she said, "Dear husband, I'm eager to see my mother and sisters, and please, if you don't want to go, I understand, but please at least allow me also myself to go." And he instructed her, "But if you hear criticism about me, you will be hurt. I'm your dear husband, so be careful, And he didn't let her go alone. He sent some of his associates to protect her, go along with her, So they took a Viman and they went there. So when she arrived there, her mother and sister welcomed her and hugged her very nicely. But the father didn't look nicely at her. He looked in a bad way, Looked the other way, He was not pleased to see her because she's married to Shiva, although she's his own daughter, So it is said in Shastra, if you see a devotee, you should be happy to see. If you're not happy, you're committing offense. So we should be happy to see one another. And finally she went there against the wish of her husband. She was attached to see her mother and sister. Natural, for a lady, normal, Anyway, when this happened, and she saw that her neglect her completely, ignored her completely, not even a nice welcome word, nothing, zero. And she understood that was because of his enviousness toward Lord Shiva. So she could not tolerate that. And she spoke loudly in front of everyone that I am ashamed to have this body because was born from my father Daksha, who's offender to my great husband Lord Shiva, who has such wonderful qualities. And she started glorifying Lord Shiva very nicely, in front of everyone. Actually, Lord Shiva, only his color is not bluish, his color is golden. He looks in the painting bluish because he put, he smeared on his body ashes from crematorium. But not any ashes, only ashes from Vaishnavas, from deceased Vaishnavas. Also the bones, the skulls around his neck are from Vaishnavas' remains, And those cobras around his neck are great sages who keep his company in this way. They're not ordinary snake. They're not that snake who bite. No, they never bite. So it's very nice Prabhupada explaining here that the snake is envious of other living entity because unnecessarily she may bite anyone, anybody, any living being, animal or human, without a reason, Not because she's hungry to eat, not that because she likes to bite. That's the nature of poisonous snake. Sometimes it is said in the Vedas that when certain constellations there, stars, and there is rain, when the rain fall in the ocean will create pearls. If it fell on the head of a cobra, a jewel will come out of the head of the cobra, like that. Or the elephant also, big pearl like that may come. So the cobra may look beautiful with the pearl, with big jewel on his head, but it's very dangerous to approach. Don't do that. So the same way that milk is a nice food, but when it's touched by the snake, if the snake drink from that milk, the milk becomes poisonous. It's not good to drink. So in the same way, a person may have very nice quality. We may see in the world very nice looking people, rich, wealthy, and have great education, but they are atheists, for example. They deny God, or they're very proud and they mistreat other people, because they are rich or whatever, So all these qualities, if are not used properly, may be adverse even to the same person who possessed them, May hand it back before that person, So the same thing was going to happen to Daksha because of his pride and offenses to Lord Shiva. So Sati told her father that I am ashamed to have this body that came from your body. You are a great offender to such a great soul as Lord Shiva, who's always in deep meditation on the Supreme Lord, not appreciating, not understanding his great position. You offended him, you criticized him, you cursed him. So I want to give up this body who's related to you, because I feel so much shame to be related to you. So she decided to give up her body right there, And then she chanted the mantras, and suddenly fire come from out of her body. And she left her body, became anxious in an instant. Mystic fire, from inside the body. We all have that. The fire of digestion, they call it. Krishna saying, Bhagavad Gita, I am the fire of digestion. So he's helping us even digest the food. Without Krishna's help, we can't even eat or digest the food properly. So anyway, and when that happened, was a big uproar, Lord Brahma didn't go to that sacrifice because he knew what was going to happen. So he then decided not to go. Big chaos. Because the followers of Lord Shiva, they were entrusted to protect Sati. And when this happened, they became very upset because they failed to follow. And Sati left her body there. So they start attacking all the devatas there. And one of the biggest demon, not demon really, but maybe demon, but he's a servant of Lord Shiva. He chopped off the head of Daksha. Imagine what happened. So anyway, when all this the disaster happened, and they were counteracting curses against the Brahmanas and followers of Shiva, cursing each other, was a complete mess. But then Lord Shiva was asked to, try to solve the situation, otherwise, to avoid more bloodshed. So he went there, and he put the head of a goat on Daksha's body. Head transplant. We are proud in this planet that we know heart transplant. But in the heavenly planet, they know head transplant. We haven't reached that stage here yet, you know. There's a wonderful Bhagavatam explanation that one great sage wanted to hear very advanced knowledge, spiritual knowledge, from the Ashwini Kumaras. They are the heavenly doctors. But they wanted to hear from that sage that knowledge, the other way around. But he told them, I made the promise to the person who gave me this knowledge not to give it to anyone. So I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. He said, that's not the problem. We will make head transplant. We will put the head of a horse in your body. And then you can speak with the horse mouth, the knowledge. Then we transplant back again your head. I mean, this sounds like science fiction. No? Sometimes in India don't understand people those amazing history. They call it mythology, like made up stories. But they are not mythology. They are real. They're just out of our experience because these things happen on other planets. People have different ability we don't have here, different science we don't know here. So we should be open-minded, not think that this is made up stories or mythology or this or that. No, they're actual. They're real. Like for example, they believe that Ramayana is mythology. It's not mythology, it's real. They discovered Rama Setu, the bridge under the water. It's a factual history. It's not just stories. Anyway, so then Daksha, with the head of a goat, he spoke. And he was very, very sorry, very regretful for his offenses and misdeed. And he asked forgiveness from Lord Shiva for his offenses, for his mistake. Lord Shiva forgave him naturally, And Sati was reborn as Parvati. And she married again Lord Shiva. So, when the body ends, the soul doesn't end. The soul is eternal. There is nothing to actually lament, just a change of body. It's natural to feel sorry for the losses of the dear ones, but one should take solace in the fact that the soul never dies. It's just changing bodies. That's all. Krishna is directing them. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesh arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that I am sitting in the heart of all living entities. They have a body-like machine, and I'm directing they're traveling from one body to another body. I'm directing that. According to their karma and desire, they will, at the time of death, they will be transferred to another body. So this is going on all the time. Every day people are born or die. They die, and this is going on. But human life offers an opportunity to stop this repeated birth and death by becoming, fully Krishna conscious and always chanting the holy name of Krishna. That will keep us safe and protected from the allurement of this material world. There are so many distractions, allurements, illusions created by the illusory energy of Krishna. Once Narad Muni went to visit Krishna in Dwarka, and he asked him, Krishna, can you show me how your material energy works, your illusory energy, illusion, how it works, Maya? Krishna smiled, Narad, are you sure you want to see that? Can be very confusing for you, even for you. My material energy is very powerful, very, very strong. Yes, I have curiosity. I need to know how it works, how your Maya works. Okay, fine. Let's have a walk outside the palace. Go to the forest. They were walking together, and then Krishna told him, "Oh, I'm feeling very thirsty. There is nearby a well. Can you bring me some water from there?" Sure, Krishna, immediately. So he went to the well, and there was a beautiful girl taking water out of the well. He offered to help. Can I help you, please? You know. And she smiled at him. Oh, she may like me. So he helped her with the water and everything. And he could not help listen but follow her to her house. And before entering the house, she looked back and smiled again at him. So definitely she likes me. So he went to knock on the door, and her father came out. Oh, great sage Narada, such a great pleasure. You're visiting my home. Please come. Offer you a glass of water, food. Can you please tell me what brings you here? Well, I think your daughter likes me very much, and I like her very much. You know. So, what do you think about that? Oh, that's a great honor for me, you know. If she agreed to marry you, I have no objection. I'm elated to know that. But I have one request, that you stop your traveling. Here I have a land next to my house. You can make your house there. You can help me, you know, with agriculture, taking care of the cows. I'll make your house there. I will help you to build your house there. You live happy, no problem. Okay, sure. So we got married, have few children, help in agriculture, the father-in-law, everything. He forgot about Krishna and the water and everything. And then one day there was what you call excessive rains, and the river grew up, and all the houses were covered in water, you know. And he put his family in a boat, and he was fighting the waves, you know. He had 2 children, a wife, and a big wave came and threw the boat upside down, and the children were fighting in the water. The wife, I don't know to swim, help me. So he was grabbing one son, the wife, the other son. He was struggling like anything. And suddenly, everything disappeared, and he was in front of Krishna. And Krishna asked him, where is my water? What water? My wife, my kids. We were going to drown. Where are they? Krishna said, this is the way my Maya works. Only 5 minutes passed. For you was a lifetime. You know? So, of course, Narada Muni is a pure devotee. But since he wanted to know how the Maya works, that he forget Krishna. Once we forget Krishna, we are going into the cycle of samsara and endlessly, you know. We've been in this material world for millions of years. Why? Because we forgot Krishna for so long time. Now, in this life, we have the opportunity to remember Krishna, to remember we are His eternal servant. We should not forget that for the rest of our life. Always remain Krishna conscious. Always chanting the holy name. Always have devotees association. Take only prasad, food offered to Krishna, nothing else. And that way we can make our life perfect in this very life. And go back home, back to Godhead. That's the goal of life. Prema Pumarto Mahan. Mahaprabhu said the highest goal is to achieve prem, pure love for Krishna. And that's on the heart of every living entity. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem is there. It's just covered by ignorance, tamagun, rajagun, passion. So the chanting Hare Krishna cleans the heart from all dirty things. The more we chant, the better, the more cleaning. And then we start having feelings for Krishna. When you chant, you start feeling happiness to be in touch with Krishna's holy name, which are non-different from Krishna. If I am thirsty now and I say water, 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 I will be more thirsty. Because the water itself and the word water are different. But if I want to feel God, Krishna in my life, by chanting His name, I can feel His presence in my life, in my heart. So, and that gives great happiness. I'm telling you. I'm telling you out of my own experience. So Krishna sees that his devotees are happy in serving Him because He wants to see everybody happy in His service. But Krishna doesn't force anyone. It's free will. You may want or not want. It's up to you. But it's for our own good. It's for our own good. That Krishna tell us, come to me, become my devotee. Offer me your homage, So people in this world want to have peace, happiness, but they don't know how. Krishna explained the formula in Bhagavad Gita. Bhuktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam yatomam shantim richati. If you know that I am the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, penances, I am the Lord, the owner of all the planets and the universe, I am the best friend of everyone, then by knowing these three things one may achieve everlasting happiness. Imagine if people in the world accept Krishna as the supreme proprietor of everything, what will be the result? No more crimes, no more thievery, nobody will steal anybody's property. Corruption will end. That's simple. Just by accepting this fact, Krishna is supreme proprietor, we don't want to take anybody's property. Krishna has given everyone whatever they have, we should respect that. So the world will change just by becoming Krishna conscious. We accept Krishna as the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifice, austerities, then we offer everything to Him as for His pleasure. Everything we do as sacrifice, getting up early to go to job. Why I'm doing this? Because I have to maintain Krishna's house. I have to pay the bills. Maintain the family. Why? Because they are also children of Krishna. They belong to Krishna. So in that way, if we see everything related to Krishna, then life has a purpose. See? Without Krishna, life has no purpose. So it's very important. The philosophy is very deep philosophy, Krishna consciousness. So thank you very much for coming and listening. If you have any comment or question, please do. Yes.
Maharaj, in the beginning you said that the chanting is addiction, but I don't feel that addiction right now.
Keep chanting. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, how come I become expert at Sankirtan? Prabhupada said, how a person becomes a drunkard? By drinking. By drinking every day, we end up being alcoholic. As we keep chanting every day, one day we will become addicted to it. And that is a good addiction, of course. You can't stop chanting, that's very good. Sometime, I remember having some bad dream, and suddenly in the dream I started chanting. And I wake up chanting. I say, wow, that's very good. You know, even in the dream one can remember Krishna. So when Krishna's name are being chanted in any place, that place becomes purified. No evil presence can be there. No ghost, nothing bad. So we have to chant so to free our mind from all bad things, bad thoughts, and lust, greed, anger, envy, fear, illusion. We need to be free from all these bad things. And the only way to do it is to chant always the holy name of Krishna.
So, I heard somewhere that it is like, is it time dependent that if you chant 20 years or 25 years, then it will happen? Is it like that, or is just practice dependent?
I mean, not only the time, but also the quality of the chanting is important. Both are important. To pay attention, to chant with attention, with reverence, with feelings. Jiva Goswami recommend that we chant with the feeling of a child crying for his mother. Unless the child cries, it doesn't get breast milk. So he has to cry. So the same way, there it is, that's a proof. I'm telling you. practical experience. So we have to, feelingly cry for Krishna's mercy, Then He will give mercy. And if we don't feel nothing, Krishna will keep chanting. Maybe one day you will feel something. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. Krishna one day will help. Have feelings also. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you were saying that, giving example of Narad Muni, that how he got lost, he forgot Krishna.
Yes.
So that's why we have like a Nectar of Devotion. Srila Prabhupada said that the mother of all rules is to always remember Krishna. If we don't remember Krishna, then we are lost.
Yes. All rules regulation ends up in two things. To always remember Krishna and to never forget Him. So emphasize something, you say it, positive and negative. Always remember, never forget. Then becomes more fixed in your mind. Yes, I have to do this. Yes.
Yeah, but which one he means? Like strongly remember, or just lightly beside doing other things? Because women can multitask, right?
Just remember Krishna at the best you can. The best you can. If you can do it with more attention is better, of course, but if you can't, at least don't forget. At least don't forget. Gradually you will increase, the thinking of Krishna will be more with bhav, with feeling, Krishna is my only protector, Krishna is my only maintainer, my only provider. I'm His humble servant. Those feeling means charanagati, surrender, sweet surrender. Without charanagati, there is no advancement. Once a lady asked Prabhupada, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, surrender to Him. But what actually means to surrender to Krishna? Prabhupada said, surrender to Krishna means you follow His instruction. You have to follow these 4 rules. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. If you follow these 4 rules, you are surrendering to Krishna. If you don't follow them, you are not surrendering to Krishna. That easy method, Prabhupada. How to surrender to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, what is the easiest way, or the best way to avoid offenses against the holy names and against the Vaishnavas especially?
The most common offense devotees we all commit is chanting inattentively. All other offenses are not difficult to avoid, but this one is the most difficult one. To chant with attention, because the mind tends to be, diverted, But if one doesn't make an effort to chant better, with more attention, one may commit other offenses also. So it is important to work on this offense, to avoid inattention, Because when we make an effort to try to be more attentive to the chanting, when the mind tries to squeeze away, you will notice and bring it back. No, come back. Listen, this is good for you. Don't go away. Because the mind tend to silence when something is repeated, Like, for example, if you're hearing a noise, a repeated noise, the same noise, after some time you don't hear because the mind make it, shut it up. So the same way, since we are repeating the names of Krishna, the mind may just put it, when sometimes, the pilots, they put the plane in autopilot, and they read magazine. Yeah, so the mind tends to do that also with the chanting,
Yeah, that's true.
So we have to make an effort to be more attentive in our chanting. And Jiva Goswami recommend that to help our attention, while chanting, we may look at Krishna's paintings, pictures, like that. And we should not interrupt our chanting. It should be like the river Ganges flowing to the ocean, non-stop. We should not have a social japa Haribo, Hare Krishna, how are you? Yes, and then what they're gonna do then? Oh yes, yes, Hare Krishna. Not that kind of social japa. No. We should give it time only for this. Should be no interruption. Yes.
So Maharaj, mind tend to go. Arjuna, he was such an exalted devotee. He also told that it is very difficult to control the mind. Is difficult like to control the wind. So our mind, as compared to Arjuna, is more not fixed on Krishna. So does Krishna appreciate our efforts, or does he appreciate the attentive chanting?
Definitely, Krishna is very appreciative of a person who's trying to chant his names and trying to make the effort. No? Krishna says in the Purana that when Draupadi was chanting, she was helpless, trying to be disrobed by the Kauravas. She gave up. She was trying to protect herself first, but then she surrendered to Krishna. Hey Govinda, hey Gopal, please protect me. Then Krishna immediately, So when we feel helpless and in need of Krishna's mercy, and we chant with that mood, Krishna immediately reciprocate with us. But if we feel everything comfortable, okay, a little chanting, a little this, that, Understand, it's a question of feeling the need, feeling the urgency. I need Krishna's mercy. I need His protection. Then it will happen. Yes, Hare Krishna.
So like Mataji was saying, like the mind it's very hard to focus the mind on Krishna. And sometimes when we're chanting, we're not very attentive, and we realize that we're not attentively chanting. Sometimes our mind tries to use that as an excuse to not chant. Like we say, oh, I'm not chanting attentively, I can't do this, this is not made for me. So how do you convince yourself to continue to chant and progress?
Don't listen to the mind. The mind is very tricky. Chant anyway. The mind may go here and there, don't stop, chant anyway. The mind is crazy, wandering all over the universe. Don't be disheartened, keep chanting, keep chanting. Until you keep trying until you get it. Don't ever give up. That's the greatest trick of the mind, to give up. Because stop chanting is also an offense. So the mind, yes, is very stubborn, very, very whimsical, and very capricious. So Krishna told Arjuna, yes, you're correct, that mind is very difficult to control, but by practice and detachment, you can control the mind. Practice means every day you chant. And detachment means, no, I know, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna. So detachment is necessary there. If we think ourselves, the body, everything related to my body belongs to me, then it's more difficult to chant with attention. So we have to have the knowledge to know we are not this body. Sometimes the devotee asks me, please give us advice how to chant better japa. I tell them, okay, first thing is that who's chanting the japa? Your tongue chanting the japa? Your hand is touching the japa? Your ear is hearing the japa? The body is chanting or you are chanting? You, the soul, is chanting. The material tongue can't chant. You are just using it, but you, the soul, is chanting. The first thing you need to know is that. Then you can do better chanting. And always pray before you start chanting, Krishna, I'm going to chant your holy name. Please help me to concentrate better, to please you better, to glorify you better. I'm your eternal servant. Some or other I forgot you. And now in this human life, I'm trying to remember you. Please don't kick me away. Accept me again. Engage me in your service. One should like that humbly pray to the holy name, to Krishna. And then one can chant better. Yes.
Maharaj, it is easy to measure the quantity of chanting, like chanting 16 hours, somebody's chanting 25, somebody has been chanting for 20 years, 30 years. How do you measure the quality of your chanting? What are the symptoms one person shows when the quarantine comes?
Well, I mean, you can know if you're chanting properly your rounds, that you can pay better attention and have some feelings while chanting, Then and also feeling detachment, from sense gratification. That is the symptom of advancement. That the devotee becomes disinterested in material pleasures because he's experiencing better pleasure in the holy name, in serving Krishna. That's the symptom of advancement. You may chant 64 rounds, but if you chant them without attention, where is the benefit? You get some benefit, of course, but not the same benefit as chanting with all attention there. So very important, not only the quantity, but also the quality of the chanting. Yes.
There was one story that I heard where one devotee had said that he doesn't really have any taste for chanting. And the other devotee said, well, try to stop it. Go a day without chanting and see what happens. And he realized that he can't do that. He realized that some taste is...
Yeah, of course. I mean, the proof that you like chanting is that you can't stop chanting. And that's the proof that you have some taste for chanting, You will not give up chanting. So, once I heard the devotee talking, one the other saying the other, if we follow everything, all rules, regulation, then we can get Krishna's mercy. And all of this was the devotee said, but unless we get Krishna's mercy, we can't follow anything. So both things are there, You already chanting, that means you already have Krishna's mercy. You are giving up bad habits, sinful activity, that means you got mercy, Krishna's mercy. But we should be more, what is the word? Greedy, spiritually greedy. I want to advance even more. That's very good. Whatever, if you can't get this greed, pay any price, but get it. That's the price for advancement. Slowly, hankering. When I will see Krishna, when He show Himself, when He will give me His mercy, when? Of course, we have to be qualified, First deserve, then desire, Prabhupada said. But at least we should want to be qualified for that kind of mercy, There's a story, happened in Vrindavan many years ago. One old Babaji, he all his life serving the deities Radha Krishna, and he will chant all day crying for the Lord mercy, He cried for so long in his old days that he became blind. So one day, he was already very old, so one day he stood in front of Radha Krishna deity and he was lamenting. Oh Krishna, you are very hard-hearted. I've been serving you all my life, chanting holy name. You are very hard-hearted. You don't want to give me your mercy. And you're Radharani, because you are soft-hearted that because of your association with him, you also become hard-hearted. So Radharani could not tolerate that. So she spoke to him, the deity, she spoke to him. What do you expect us to do for you? And the devotee said, well, I only want to have your darshan. I want to see you. But even if we appear to you, you can't see us, you're blind. He said, well, if both of you come and put your hand on my eyes, if you touch my eyes with your hands, then I will be able to see. So then Radharani told Krishna, please, Let us give him his mercy. This is sincere devotee. So Krishna put one hand in one eye, Radharani put the hand in the other eye. He had divine darshan. He could see their eternal beautiful form. His life became perfect. So, I mean, Krishna is not easy to achieve. He's very, strict. You want to see the person really surrendered, really sincere. But Radharani is more compassionate. So that's why the devotee Vrindavan, they chant Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, because they know if he is pleased, Krishna will, like that. So the Mahamantra Hare is Radharani. So we are also praying for her mercy in the Mahamantra.
So Maharaj, why then we say that Krishna is very compassionate and he's loving?
He is, undoubtedly, but Radharani is more than him.
Yeah, but then why he let us wait so long?
Because we don't have enough desire for him. Understand? But when the mother hears the child cry, she immediately run to help the child, isn't it? But Krishna knows when we are faking our tears. This is crocodile tears. He may cry now for me and later he will cry for Maya. So he doesn't pay much attention. Has to be real, Krishna's in the heart, Baba Grahi Janardana, he knows when it is real or not. So we have to be very, very honest and sincere with Krishna. He knows everything about us better than ourselves, isn't it?
Maharaj, I have
Yes.
a question.
Please do.
So, does Krishna want us to meet me?
Yes. Krishna wants everyone to be with him. He's more eager than us. If we make one step toward Krishna, he will make 10 steps toward us. Because he's more eager than ourselves. Why? Because we are part of him. We belong to him. We are meant to be eternally happy. But we are suffering because we are in material body in this world. We have to suffer all day, disease, death. But in this human form of life, we can surrender to Krishna, become his bhakta, his devotee. Then Krishna will take us away from here.
So, I have a question. So,
Yeah.
until I have this body, I can't have his darshan or I can't...
No, you have to keep chanting, keep trying. When become pure, only when the heart becomes pure, then Krishna can fulfill your desire. The heart full of dirt, lust, greed, anger, all these things. So the chanting Chetodar Paramarjana means cleansing the heart. When the heart is completely clean, then prema appears. The love for Krishna. When the prema appears, then you can see Krishna. Without love, you can't see Krishna. There must be pure love.
So love is more important or chanting is more important
Chanting is more important.
than love?
Because by chanting, the love will come. We have to be patient. We have to have determination, endeavor every day. Don't stop chanting. Try to do it better. And we have to have enthusiasm to achieve the goal. These 3 things are important. Very good. So thank you very much. I'm very happy that with your nice questions and thank you so much. Tomorrow we have another program at who's home. Okay. All of you are invited, of course. And then on Tuesday at Balabhadra Prabhu's home, isn't it? Haribol. Hare Krishna. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Premanandi.
Bhakti Sundar Goswami.
Thank you all for
Jai, hello. Let's go.
Squirrels are already eating, right?
No, I don't know. I like to.
Oh, I see.
Oh, you? I just asked you. Oh, yeah, you found the place. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
I just made
I get it.